capsizes Fred's 1984 season.
One of the most successful professional racers of the 1984 season was 22-year-old Fred Merkle from Stockton, California. Racing his 750cc Interceptor-based Honda Superbike, Fred dominated American Superbike racing like no one before him. In winning Honda's first Superbike championship, Fred Merkle won an amazing 10 out of 13 races. One could certainly say that Flying Fred Merkle just blew by everybody. Fred's season began on a not-so-happy note with a DNF at Daytona, Florida. But not to be discouraged, he went west to Riverside, California, and won. Then north to Sears Point, California, and won. East to Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, and won. With 3 victories out of 4 races, Merkle headed to the East Coast in Loudon, New Hampshire, where he suffered his only real defeat of the year. Fred got second. South of Loudon in the Pocono Mountains, Flying Fred renewed his winning ways and continued them at Laguna Seca, California, narrowly beating arch-rival Wes Cooley in front of 80,000 race fans. Portland, Oregon fell to the Merkle onslaught with yet another victory. Fred's good fortune took a day off at the second Sears Point race in August. Fred DNF'd. But after that, it was all downhill. Braden, Minnesota, Willow Springs, California, and Lexington, Ohio in September and the November Daytona race all gave up their victories to the blonde-haired California wonder, the man they call the Heartbreak Kid. Fred Merkle set a new standard in the expanding sport of superbike racing. With a style that at the very least could be called forceful, Flying Fred put on a show for the race fans all across the country that warmed him to his audience, but put the fear of defeat into his competitors. Watching Fred glide across the asphalt with not a ripple in his line or concentration belies the fact that he has only 2 seasons of superbike racing experience. Merkle and his Honda Superbike played the field. Actually, the asphalt. To watch Merkle race makes one believe that racing a bike that looks like a standard street bike that you could buy from your local Honda dealer is easy. But when Fred goes from a knee-scraping left-hander, looks down to check for knee pad damage, picks his body up and places it on the other side of the bike while braking hard for the next corner, lines up the motorcycle for the apex, touches the asphalt with his right knee, decides that his knee needs more clearance over the edge markers, that's better. One knows that he is playing with a full deck. The naturalness with which he controls his motorcycle hides his rare talent and the many hours of work and practice. 1984 gave Fred a taste of victory. When the flag dropped at the end of the season, Fred Merkle, with 10 victories, had won the 1984 Superbike Championship, an achievement he shared with mechanics Mike Velasco and Merlin Plumley, and team manager Udo Giedel. There can only be one number 1, and Flying Fred says it all.
Bring to a close our 13-week series, I'd like to leave you with a piece of the feature film Taking It to the Limit.